Welcome back, everyone, to Hearts of Iron 4 as we continue this playthrough on Kaiserreich. It's August 1945. We left off the last episode with nuclear weapons in development. We are 6 days away from having our first nuclear bomb, and we are also now on the mainland, at least the northern part of the mainland of Japan. So we're going to see what happens with our invasion. See if we can't finish off the Japanese and maybe, just maybe, bring the world to a place where, for the first time in quite a few years, we are without a world war. And now you can see that the Ukrainians, the Russians, and the Germans are sending troops to Japan. They're going to help us out. It's obviously going to bog down the supply situation a little bit, but that's okay. The more the merrier. In fact, let's go ahead and finish off the Japanese forces here on the Northern Island. I started to say Northern Ireland. And it looks like we're moving on to the main island now. This is going to be over pretty quickly, I think. Japan just doesn't have the forces to be able to withstand it. It's interesting that we're actually not too far off historically. The timeline for this war. Obviously, it's a very different war. But September 1945 is when Japan signed the official surrender in Tokyo Bay. And it's going to be September 1945 when we take Tokyo. We're also moving... Oh, there it is. Who took them? Oh, it was my armored divisions moved in and took Tokyo. Beautiful. Okay. Still a long way to go. They're only, even with taking Tokyo, they're only at 40%. We got a lot of major cities down here, Kyoto and Nagoya, Osaka, that are going to need to be taken. Let's go ahead and get in behind these divisions and see if we can't cut them off. Now that we are able to get actual fighters onto the home islands. Oh, he actually retook Tokyo here. We've got to deal with that. Our air missions have gotten much more effective. We went from a 2% air superiority efficiency to 57% and climbing. So that helps having the range to be able to actually accomplish these things. And we're going to try to get even more units there if we possibly can. Let's see. In fact, why don't we raise up the number of strategic bombers we have and the number of fighters that we have operating out of that base. We do got to go back and deal with Tokyo, but I think we've got sufficient allied forces in the area to help deal with that. Let's take a look. Japan's still only 30% toward capitulation. Even with taking Tokyo, it doesn't get us that close to that. We don't quite have the air superiority we need to be able to drop the bomb. Not that we necessarily need it, but I've got them, so I might as well use them, right? What's our 58%? We've got to be at 75. I need to take another air base somewhere is the problem. There isn't quite enough air power here to get this done. Alright, so I pulled some of my... who just fell? Okay. I pulled some of my panzer divisions off the front lines over here to go retake Tokyo. Once we've dealt with that, we'll make our final push on Kyoto, Osaka. See if we can't finish this thing off. Where's that put us? We'll find out in a minute here. I want to try and get my modern hulls completed. We also have a naval battle that took place. Looks like we lost a destroyer, not much else. Okay. Still only 52% toward victory. That's a lot of territory we still have to take. Okay, we've got some peace. Meanwhile, Honduras capitulates to El Salvador. So that's going on too. Where's that put the war situation now? We're running out of nations. The formation of the Central American Republic. Alright, that's kind of cool. So there you have it. One Central American Republic. Costa Rica and Panama remain independent, but all the other countries, El Salvador, Honduras, Nicaragua, those are all forming one country now. Where are we at? So now we're down to just 6 countries of the co-prosperity sphere who are against us. Burma's already pretty much out. That leaves Vietnam, Philippines, Laos, Siam, and Japan. And we can kind of deal with all of that once we've dealt with Japan. Okay, so a combined Allied fleet with 24 destroyers, an escort cruiser, and 5 subs just sank 11 Japanese destroyers. So that was a good day for us. We are continuing to move down the line here. Just not quite there yet. We're at 66% toward capitulation now. I'm curious to see how the casualties stack up. The Japanese have inflicted 507,000 casualties on me. I've inflicted 485 on them. So considering I'm the attacker and I've had some pretty difficult supply situations, it's actually not too bad. Start building our first carrier, I think, here. Advanced carrier hull. Actually, it's not my first carrier. I have improved carrier hull. Now I'm going to build advanced as well. So, let's get some flight deck armor going on this thing. More hangar space. More armor. Some anti-air. Get a radar 3. I think everything else is pretty good. Get us another secondary battery. How many planes does each one of these hold? I think I'd rather actually add some more hangar space. Let's do that. Okay. December 1945, we are ever closer to defeating the Japanese. They're at 95% toward capitulation, and with it, we're very near to the end of the war. We've got them encircled here. Just need to take one more major point, like maybe Hiroshima. That's probably going to do it. %. We still need one more victory point somewhere. There it is. Okay. Oh my goodness. Here comes the fun. What do? We definitely need a base in the Pacific. A permanent base in the Pacific. I like this right here as that spot. We've actually got a lot of points available to us. I don't know that I want to take a whole lot more than that, but I obviously need some kind of a buffer and maybe take some of the mainland too. Let's end right there. I feel like maybe beyond that. Ooh, look at all that production up there in North Korea. I think we'll take Korea too. And that'll probably be all I take. I think I'm going to pass on the rest. The Germans seem like they're going to take quite a bit. Did they take the rest of it? They did. The Germans took the rest of Japan. So I've got all of this right here. So the war is over for the first time in forever. We are at peace, which means actually we have some things we can do now that we could not do before. We can't do that. I still don't own the territories I need to make that happen. All right. Can we do the status quo one? We can. Not really sure that's what I wanted to do, though. And we'll think about that a little bit. Okay, now that the war is over, the time has come to resume leadership on our own terms as head of the Donau-Adria-Bund Alliance. So, let's go ahead and do that. Oh, we're immediately going to see wars happening again. Hope none of them involve me. I don't think they do. We got to move our troops out of the occupied territories. Looks like Japan has been released by the Germans, with Hirohito as the leader. But of course now they are a member of our faction. So let's take a look at the factions map mode. The Germans are not a part of our faction, so I'm not entirely sure how that's going to work things out, but eventually we may end up at war with Germany. We're also going to ease up on conscription, demobilize the economy. Let's go ahead and do that as well. Now that the World War is over, there's a lot of things that we can be working on doing. Obviously, make some different changes to trade. And we'll have to look at our military production and see what we can change about that too. I'm also back to looking at possibilities for naval dockyards because I think I've got some new places that I can build those. I still want to ramp up my Navy, and the best way to do that is having as many naval dockyards as possible. So I've maxed out in all the places where I'm able to do that. The fate of Korea. After the final liberation of the proud nation of Korea, we were left with the responsibility of organizing the administration of the newly conquered territories. What shall we do? Liberate a loyal republic or military occupation is the only answer. Yeah, I think we'll make them a puppet. Let's go ahead and do that. All right, before any potential wars in Europe might happen down the road, we have to start preparing some things like air bases, for example. I just don't have any. So we're gonna queue up max air bases in some strategically important locations, so that we'll have the ability to do whatever we need and use the maximum number of planes that we possibly can. All right, so I did a little thing here, and just in the interest of full disclosure, letting you know what I did, I installed the state transfer tool mod for the game, and I've transferred this territory to the Austrian Empire. They were an ally of ours, and unfortunately, in order to keep the story moving and keep the game going the way we'd like it to, an early decision that I, having not played Austria before, I didn't fully understand how all of these focus trees were going to work, and in order to be able to go down this focus tree, I had to have that territory, and since they were allied with us, there was no way for me to declare war on them and take it. So I've gone ahead and transferred it to myself, and now we can end the dual role, and we can go down this path to reform the Austro-Hungarian Empire. Galicia desires union with Poland. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. That's Galicia right here. I guess no, we'd prefer to keep them separate because that makes Poland a little stronger, and of course that makes them a tougher opponent if and when we've got to fight. So Galicia desires union with Poland. We already know that. Austro-Hungarian split of former Illyria. We must choose what to do with the occupied Illyrian lands. Occupy the whole thing for now. Yes, that's what we're going to do. Now, Hungary may not like that very much, but I'm not entirely concerned with that. I don't know where this is all going to go. We're going to go ahead and put some armies on the Hungarian border for now. Galicia's going to keep asking for this, aren't they? So go ahead, do your thing. Ho! Hungary just declared war on us. Just like that. So that didn't take long at all. Yeah, dang. Okay, so first things first, let's reform our front line. They're going to probably take Vienna because Vienna's right on the border there with that territory. So we're going to immediately move onto the front line here with these 21 divisions. I feel like that's probably all I'm going to need to do this. We'll set an offensive line. We'll start working on... all our air power is still way the heck over in the east. I never did move my planes. That wasn't particularly smart of me. So let's go ahead and start the process of moving all of that back. We did start building up some air bases, but we got a long way to go on that. Kaiser Wilhelm III wants to send 8 divisions to help us out. How very kind of him to want to do that. I don't expect this to be a real long war. That's going to take a lot of time. We can call some allies in to help out. I don't know that we need to do that. In fact, I don't think I'm going to. Just to keep things simple. I'm only going to use these 21 divisions unless I find myself in trouble and needing more. How are we doing with our air power? Are they here yet? Yeah, they're here. Okay, cool. So we've got 6 fighter wings that we're going to put into action here. We're going to have to move some of these over here just because we're kind of maxed out at that air base there. Oh, now we got more. We've got... these are even more fighters. We need to get more than just our fighters over here, though. Czechia revolts against the Illyrian War. The reaction from Prague to our recent actions across Litha has been one of unmasked anger. Okay. So they have declared war on us now. Interesting. Didn't see that coming, but not a huge deal. We might have to call our friends into this after all. Let's go ahead and call the Poles into the war. See what they can do to help out. Make things a little easier. That opens up a whole new border for the Hungarians to have to defend. I'm not too worried about that. Here's what we're going to do now. We're going to move. I transferred a couple panzer divisions to that other army, and now we're going to move this second army, which I had sitting on the Italian front. We're going to move them up here to the border with... I did that wrong. To the border with Czechia, formerly known as the Czech Republic. And we'll deal with them. We'll go march on Prague. Chaos on the Danube. Once again, blood will paint the Danube red as war sparked between Austria and its former crown lands after the abolition of the dual rule. It is certain the Belgrade Pact will also be involved in the conflict. Yikes. Let's hope that doesn't happen. And let's hope this doesn't turn into a European-wide war. I'm really hoping that we can just keep the rest of Europe out of this thing and just keep this regional for now. I'm talking to you, Italy, France, and Germany. Germany already recalled their divisions that they had sent to me, so they don't want involved after all. Let's see, 12,000 casualties over there. We've lost 10. We've inflicted quite a bit. The Polish army's doing their part too. Really not moving too much on that border right now. How about we use some rockets? Haven't really done much of that. Use that for strategic bombing. Oh, that's what I was afraid of. I moved all those divisions off the border with Italy to go deal with Czechia, and now we got to deal with them here. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to pull all of our troops that we still have in the east. This is going to take a long time to happen. And we're going to start throwing them on the border with Italy. That's going to also pull some of my divisions off of the border with Czechia, which is good. So now this got way more complicated than I wanted it to be. And because we left the alliance with the Germans, we can't even get them involved. Let's go ahead and call Korea into this thing. I hope I didn't just start World War III. Alright, so it says we can actually propose peace with the Italians. Excellent. So we did. Not entirely sure why that was so easy to do, but it looks like Legionnaire Italy just gobbled up some more territory they didn't previously have. Oh, we gave them the territory that we were holding down there. That's why. Okay, fair enough. That's why they wanted to do that. I have no problem giving that back up to them for the sake of peace with the Italians right now. All right, we're going to move these additional 30 divisions that I recalled and put them on the border here. Okay, it's time to do something we haven't done yet. We're going to nuke this province right here. It's got two divisions of the Hungarians. I want to see what happens when we do that. So let's slow things down a little bit. I want to watch it unfold. Hello! Or should I say goodbye? That should definitely soften that target. Atomic bombing of southern Slovakia. For the first and hopefully last time in history, a nuclear bomb has been detonated in southern Slovakia as part of international warfare. Will this force Hungary to surrender to avoid further terror? I doubt it. Alright, let's speed things back along. I am hoping, though, that it causes a breakthrough that's going to allow me to more quickly win this war. Alright, we're closing in on Budapest. Hoping maybe that'll be enough to knock Hungary out, but I doubt it. We're probably going to have to take some of these eastern cities over here. Things are pretty slow going in Czechia right now. We're doing a lot better against the Hungarians. Poland's kind of holding their own, But the good news is they're just keeping all of those extra Hungarian divisions on that other front, which means they can't fight me as we close in on Budapest. He's got estimated manpower between 500,000 and 1 million. We've only got slightly more than that. What's this? Lend-Lease from Poland. We're going to continue working on our infantry equipment. We're about to take Budapest. There it is. Boy, the front lines have just started moving really, really fast now. I think the Hungarians have pretty much collapsed. I'd like to cut off the two countries. We'll probably do that here soon. Trying to cross the river. I think that's the Danube. It's been kind of slow going though. Alright, it's time to do it again. Let's nuke Budapest. I hate to do this. My wife got family from Budapest. Alright, let's take a look and see what else we have as far as research goes. Improved radar. Alright, can we move in now? We did that to soften up the target so we could move in a little easier. Seems like it worked. There it is. Budapest has fallen. And I think that's enough to knock Hungary out of the war. It is. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, you're going to have to cease to exist. Sorry. I think I can probably take it all. About to find out. Yep. Don't mind if I do. Thank you. And now we move everybody against the Czechs. They have to cease to exist in order for me to be able to move forward with my national focus tree. It's pretty clear that Czechia cannot exist. So as soon as we complete this all Austrian development scheme, the next one on this side, the Empire Reborn, requires me to be at peace, requires Czechia to not exist. So once we conquer them, we'll be able to do that. I'm using way more fuel than I have in quite a long time, so we're ramping up our trade for oil so we can keep our panzer divisions moving. Getting it all from the Ottomans. Man, even 160 is not enough. I'm going to have to really go up high. What are we using? Between our air, our navy, and our army. Our army's only getting about 65% of what it needs. That's starting to go up a little higher. It's almost at 100% now. There we go. And now that we got the oil we need, the army started moving a lot faster. They were pretty much just at a standstill for lack of oil. I'll deal with all of this stuff in just a minute. We need to take Prague first. There it is. That should just about do it for this. Now we need to take a little bit more territory. His new capital over here will probably be enough. Oh, we're getting closer to reforming the Austrian Empire. Come on, guys. There it is. All right. Take all states. All right. And with that, now we got Austria looking like it used to. Excellent. The Empire Reborn. Let's do that. All right, national focus got bypassed, and that was the one that has to do with Italy because it's not possible anymore based on the fact that Italy's already united, I think, is the issue there. Crush Serbia. Serbia doesn't... Oh, yeah, Serbia's still there. All right, yeah, that's going to have to be next, I think. We'll go ahead and start selecting Crush Serbia. I think 24 divisions ought to be enough to get that done. Who are they allies with, if anyone? Probably the Russians or something. Oh, no, they're in the faction with Germany. Okay, no, let's not do that right now. How about we work on infrastructure for a little while? No, we can't. Cancel that bad boy. All right, we'll do that for now until we figure out what we want to do. I'm going to wrap it up right there for now. Let me know your thoughts. Use the comment section below. And we'll be back soon with our reborn Austrian Empire. Thanks for watching.